Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while, but I wanted to bring back things and start with some of the coin collecting that I've been doing. In this video, we're going to be going through about 10 penny rolls that I got from my local bank, and I'll be looking for the gaps that are in my books that you can see just off screen there, and also for some of the misprints and my birth years, which I collect. So anything that is 1985 I set to the side, and a lot of the other ones I'm just setting into piles that are consisting of what year or decade rather they're from. So the ones that I'm mostly missing are out of the 60s and before. So I'm particularly interested in finding things that are 1950s, 60s, and with my collections from the 1970s, I have a lot that I could replace with better looking pennies, cleaner pennies, and I'm also missing a lot out of the San Francisco mint. So anything with the S mint mark on it is something that I'm happy to see anytime it comes up. Especially being based out of the Midwest, it seems like it's far more likely that I see the Philadelphia or Denver imprints, but that might also just be because San Francisco was not a high producing mint for a lot of these years that have pennies for them. A little bit of info about pennies, in case you're wondering. The Lincoln Memorial reverse was designed by Frank Gasparo and was introduced in 1959 on the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. These coins have been struck with an alloy of copper, tin, and zinc up until 1962, when the tin was omitted. And since 1982, they have changed from being produced with that copper and zinc mix to being a zinc core and a copper plating. There have been some die modifications, including strengthening some of the details, changing the size of Lincoln's bust, and one of the 1969 San Francisco varieties shows a very strong doubling on all the lettering and numbers on the obverse side. Like I said, a lot of the ones that I'm looking for here are based out of the pre-1970s era. Anything that is newer than a 1982 and is made of that copper plating, I usually just take back to the bank. Often I will do a very gentle cleaning of them before I do that with just some warm water and some soap, just to get off some of the grime and dust that is on there. But often, as long as the pennies aren't in too bad of a shape, I'll just absolutely skip that step so that other people who are collectors get pennies in, the nice, known, worn shape that we're all looking for them. Another thing that I like to look for, because I can't have enough of them, is in 2009, there was special backs made to celebrate Abraham Lincoln. So they were the bicentennial reverses. I found 2 of them out of this entire pack. And the ones I found, I think, are the birth and early childhood, which show the log cabin he grew up in, and the professional life that shows him standing in front of the State House. There's also one that's the presidency, and another one that shows him sitting on a log next to an axe, which is called the formative years. Those ones are produced a little less and were just made in that 2009 era, and so I have only found probably 1 or 2 of most of those varieties, but I'm always on the lookout for more. And like I said, one of the things that I like to look for personally is my birth year. So I try to collect anything from 1985 in the coins that I collect, which currently that's just my nickels and pennies. Unfortunately, I only found 2 out of 1950. I found a small selection of the 60s, a lot of them from the 70s, and then a few out of the 80s. And what I'm doing with the weight here is I'm checking to see which ones are actually copper alloy and which ones are plated. So the ones on the left are the copper alloys, which I'm keeping. The ones on the right will be going back to the bank. Here's a quick update on what I have collected so far. Everything post 1987 I have filled in, but I do have a few gaps here, as you can see, from 70s, 60s, and anything before the 50s. Thanks for tuning in while I sort some pennies. I hope you enjoyed it, learned a little something, and maybe next time you see a penny you'll think of me. Thanks. Have a great day.